Hey everybody, Happy New Year. The year's not all that new anymore, is it? But I don't do these videos very often. So, 2024, yay, election year. You know, I remember back at the end of 2018, I made some predictions about the coming year, and I said all of 2019 will feel like an election year. And I remember feeling vindicated at the end of 2019. It did. Last year, 2023 did not feel like an election year the way 2019 did. And now we're into 2024. The first primaries are just like a week away. The Iowa caucus, I guess, is the first thing, and then the New Hampshire primary. But even so, even though we're this close, and I was really into it because I was Yang Gang last time around. You know, at this point, things were really exciting. Little did we know that the utter collapse of Andrew Yang's candidacy was just a couple weeks away. But here in 2024, I just don't feel it. I mean, I'm not watching religiously, but I tune into Rising and I tune into Breaking Points. And, you know, Breaking Points is all Israel all the time now, or all Gaza all the time. But, you know, on Rising, they still talk about politics and, you know, electoral contest politics. And I don't know. I mean, one, I don't have a dog in the race, and two, I've resolved not to obsess over it or alienate anybody over it or infuse, you know, my partisan politics, my non-existent partisan politics into everything. I was going to talk about science fiction at some point. Anyway, it just doesn't feel like it's here, like it's happening. And, you know, the big fear with AI this year is that people will use it to create disinformation. But, you know, last time around, we didn't have generative AI. The bullshit propaganda was created by humans. And, you know, people believe what confirms their narrative. Very, very rarely does anybody see something, hear something, read something that leads them to the conclusion that, oh, wow, I've not only been wrong, but I've been selectively, you know, cherry picking my evidence for years now to support a flawed worldview. Nobody, almost nobody, comes to that realization ever. And I just don't see AI being all that big a deal this time around. You know, write that on my tombstone, but I think that this election, yeah, it's going to be weird. Stuff's going to happen that's unprecedented. You know, I think the big problem is probably going to be just that neither side, the losing side, whoever it happens to be, will just not accept the results of the election. You know, Trump certainly set the stage for that last time, but, you know, throughout his presidency, the war for the White House, I mean, the Democrats and the deep state made it clear that the war for the White House was ongoing. That, yeah, elections were a particularly significant beat, but, you know, the agenda was to remove the president and to seize power by whatever means necessary at all times. Just an ongoing campaign. And, you know, like all of the worst excesses of the Republicans during the Trump presidency, I think were a continuation of the worst excesses of the Republicans to sabotage the Obama presidency. You know, the margin between what I would recognize as a legitimate political contest and just, you know, a constant Machiavellian struggle for power, the gap between those two things is growing wider and wider with each electoral cycle. Science fiction. I'm in the process of writing a Substack post about